What up, what up? This show representing Enveonline. Shout out to everybody who follow me. This video is for the sports heads out there. Yeah, I know we got to talk about James Harden. So, James Harden did his video a couple days ago. I don't know where he was at in the world. Pretty much called Daryl Morey a liar. And this sent the sports world, the sports media up in a roar. When somebody shows you who they are, believe them. I think Maya Angelou said it. When somebody shows you who they are, believe them. So there's two sides to this coin. James Harden has underperformed for Philly for 2 years. But from James Harden's perspective, he feels that Daryl Morey didn't keep his word by not bringing certain players, which I guess is fair. But you got Tyrese Maxey, Tobias Harris, and Joel Embiid, the MVP. At what point do you look inward and say, I didn't get it done as James Harden? Now, this is coming from a Boston Celtic fan. I told you guys before, I've been a Celtic fan since Kenny Anderson was the point guard. As a Boston Celtic fan, I'm starting to sympathize with you Philly fans. Like, the process is done. The process is broken. Not just because Boston has broken it by beating you guys multiple times in the second round, but because some of the players that's coming over to Philly, some of the contracts, some of the GM decisions, but now James Harden. I want you guys to think about it like this. If James Harden is publicly calling Daryl Morey a liar and creating a toxic situation, what do you think Joel Embiid is thinking in his head? You're MVP. Joel Embiid is like 29 going on 30, but we know he hasn't been as healthy as we would like him to be as basketball heads. What is Joel Embiid thinking about James Harden comments? Is he with James Harden or not? It's hot out here. If he's with James Harden, then he may start wanting to think, do I want to stay a Sixers for the rest of my prime? Do I want to be like Dame and stay in a Philly jersey till I'm 34 years old? If not, when does he start acting out? When does he start requesting a trade? When somebody shows you who they are, believe them. Forget what he did in Philly. Forget what he did in Brooklyn. Do y'all as basketball heads remember what he did in Houston? Do y'all as James Harden fans remember what he did in Houston? It wasn't just putting on a fat suit and gaining the weight so he can literally force himself out of Philly. Do y'all remember the coach, Paul Silas, the black head coach, and the young players they were building? You made Paul Silas' job in life a living hell for Houston, just to force your way out of there to get to Brooklyn, then to force your way out of Brooklyn to get to Philly, then an underperforming Philly, and now you're trying to force your way out of Philly. Newsflash, James Harden. You are on the backside of your prime. I think James Harden is 33 or going on 34, but you're on the backside of your prime, meaning your athletic ability will start to decline because of Father Time. Now just go here with me on this. Look at all the young players in the league currently. The Anthony Edwards, the Palos in Orlando, the players getting drafted. James Harden was able to succeed because he is a great player. But the type of game that he has is no longer sustainable because now the point guards getting drafted are 6'6", 6'7", do the same thing as him. But these athletes are starting to get bigger, longer. You know, I hope Cam and Mace don't see that. That statement was kind of crazy, but y'all know what I'm trying to say. They're more athletic. So what James Harden was able to get away with 7-8 years ago, he's not going to be able to get away with now moving forward with these younger players getting drafted and these younger players coming up. If I'm Daryl Morey, I'm looking for the best trade package available. You want to put on your fat suit and gain 40 pounds, then you're hurting yourself to the other players. Or you'll injure yourself. You'll get a hamstring injury or whatnot. Again, I don't get it. I understand it's a players' league. Salute to the players getting what they deserve. Keyword, getting what they deserve, the ones who earned it. But for players like James Harden, this attitude is toxic. It's harmful to younger players, even if you're a fan of James Harden, and it's harmful to organizations and a product of the NBA that the NBA is putting forth. Um, you may agree with James Harden that Daryl Morey could have done more, but from us basketball heads, he could have done more. He could have been better prepared. You guys let me know what you think.